It's been a hot minute. What's going on with me, you ask? Well, thank you. I gotta go get my piercing downsized. I got it back in March of last year, and then I got it downsized actually once before, and it embedded in my lip. Ew. I texted my piercer. I'm waiting on a response. You can't even see it. So I've been really fucking scared that if I get it downsized, it's just gonna do the same thing again. I keep bumping it, and I can't keep living like this. Let me take down my clock real quick. I'm logged into my Kindle app, and I want to talk about what I read last year. I got into a really big Frida McFadden phase, so you might notice that a lot of them are Frida McFadden. Okay? And I don't want to... No questions. No further questions. I ended up reading 58 books last year. Some of them were so good, and some of them were awful. My first finished book of last year was A Court of Silver Flames. It's the 5th book in the ACOTAR series, and I know some people fucking hate the ACOTAR series. It meant so much to me, okay? I loved that series so much. It was all-consuming for me, and I just don't want to hear it. Okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to like it, but I loved it. A 10 out of 10 for me. I don't know what to tell you. Book 2 that I read last year is Love Triangle by Sylvia Morrow. Yeah, it is one of those sentient smut books, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't read to gain knowledge. I don't read to, like, expand my brain. I read because I need to stop scrolling. So I need something interesting. I need something fun. I need something ridiculous. I loved it. Okay, I loved it. Snowden, in parentheses, with a demon. It's by Ellie Eldridge, and I read it when we had a snowstorm last year. Yeah, it is a smut book about a demon trapped inside a hotel that this girl works at. And again, I loved it. Love a ridiculous smut book. Okay, did I read too many and now I kind of can't read them as often? Yeah. But that's okay. Everybody goes through that phase. Book 4. It was the start of the 8th grade killer series, and I guess their like series name is the Harborside Secrets. I loved this entire series. It was all consuming. Like literally I would read the books in 2 days. And at this point I was working a full-time job. So like reading a book in 2 days is insanity. My mom read it, my coworker read it, we all loved it. And it was in Kindle Unlimited. So it was perfect because I don't like spending money on books. I'm filming. I did get distracted by a FaceTime call with Tasha. Yeah, it has been like an hour and a half. Sue me. The 8th grade killer series. That was books 4 through 9. Getting into 10, I started another little series that I actually ended up not finishing because it was bad. Like the first 2 books were really good. And then after that, it was bad. And so I stopped. The Ellie Klein psychological thriller series. The first one's called Cold Truth by Mary Stone. The first 2 were so good. And then it just lost, like, all meaning. The whole 4th book was just, like, a filler episode. And you know what? I hated it. Okay, here's where we start with my Frida McFadden obsession. I'm gonna go into the Blend Bunny x Donnie Darkowitz palette. I love this thing. And then I'm gonna go in with the Magical Guardians Lunar series palette. I love the original Magical Guardians palette because they're just so wet. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably nothing crazy. I know a lot of people have critiques on Frida McFadden's writing, on the substance of her books, the bad writing. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I don't care enough. I just want a silly, goofy book. Obviously, I read a bunch of sentient smut. Like, I'm not looking to expand my brain. So we're starting off with The Housemaid, obviously. Like, that's her most popular one. I mean, for a reason. I enjoyed it. I love The Housemaid. Love a silly, goofy book. I love a silly, goofy book. The second book I read was Never Lie, and I liked it. I bought it for Micah to read because he doesn't read, and I'm trying to get him to read a book that I enjoyed. The next book is The Housemaid's Secret, book 2 from The Housemaid. I enjoyed it a little less than The Housemaid, if I'm remembering correctly, but I still really liked it. I read bad books like it's reality TV, bro. The next one was The Inmate, also from Frida McFadden. Enjoyed this one less. It had a really long build up to it, I remember, but I did enjoy the ending. It was also one of those books where you're reading it and you're looking at the main character and you're like, bitch, are you stupid? Because it's right in front of you. I don't ever try to guess like what the plot twist is, but I did guess that one, and it was very obvious. The next book I read was The Teacher, again by Frida McFadden. I really enjoyed this one. The ending, he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved. I mean, was it kind of like silly sometimes? Yeah. But it was so good. Might I add, I do love a story that has multiple point of views. It makes reading so fun. The next book was The Perfect Son. Honestly, The Perfect Son was kind of unmemorable because I can't remember a goddamn thing about it. I remember enjoying it when I read it, but now that I'm trying to think about it, like, nothing's coming to me. The next one was The Locked Door, and I do remember this one. Oh, this looks so good. It was about this girl. Throughout her childhood, her dad always had the basement door locked, which, what does that mean? That means he's murdering people, obviously. The next one was Do Not Disturb. That one was also by Frida McFadden. Not what I expected at all. The plot twist. The plot twist was insane. I loved that one. Next one was Ward D. I did not enjoy this one as much. I just didn't enjoy the characters as much, nor did I enjoy the storyline. It just didn't tickle my fancy as much as other ones I've read. Next was Asking for Andrea. I had a hard time keeping track of all the different characters' storylines. I think we followed along 3 girls, and what ended up happening to them. They all had a lot going on in their storylines because it's where they were like found and what happened to them while in the pursuit of the same person who has kidnapped another girl. And it's really cool, but I just had a lot of trouble following along. I felt like I had to keep notes to keep up with it. You know what I mean? I think it was just a me problem, honestly. The next book was Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn. I loved this book. It was so cute. It was so fun. The next one was a short story by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was called Evidence of the Affair. I loved this one. The wife had ended up figuring out that her husband was cheating on her with the woman who's married to this other man. So she sends him a letter and they start communicating back and forth, and they end up creating this connection. And it was just so good. It was everything to me. The next book was The Coworker, also by Frida McFadden. Had mixed feelings about this book because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then, I don't know, it was a little... I understood the storyline, I just thought it was a little silly. I still enjoyed it. The Way I Hate Him by Megan Quinn was a DNF. Okay, because that was the worst book I read. One of the worst books I read. I read halfway through a book and then I'll DNF it. There was one book this past year and I can't remember what the name is because I deleted it. I deleted it from my brain. I got like literally 5% in it and it was so bad that I had to exit out. I know when a man has written a book when their dialogue about women is so disgusting, which is why I don't read a lot of male authors. I don't know why I'm trying to give you reviews and like descriptions of the book, because like I'm bad at it and I know I'm bad at it. Next book I read was Brain Damage, also by Frida McFadden. Like I said, I had a Frida McFadden phase. This one was about this woman who got brain damage, obviously, and her husband she thinks he's like amazing because she can't remember anything. And as the memories start coming back to her, she realizes he's the reason she has brain damage. T. The next book I ended up reading was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I loved that book. The Perfect Marriage, loved it. I wish I could pull up the description of it, but it doesn't want to pull up. So, can't tell you anything about it. Just that I loved it. The next book I ended up reading was The Housemaid is Watching. It's the third book in the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. I did not enjoy this book very much at all. I think I gave it like a 3. If I'm remembering correctly, I would give it a 3 right now. Remembering back on it, I'd give it a 3 now. 3 out of 5. The next book I read was Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I think that's how you say his last name. I was literally obsessed with this book. Oh my god. It was so well written. I recommended it to my mom and she ended up reading. I think she enjoyed it. She told me she did. The next book I read was The Resort. This was also a recommendation from my coworker. I did pay for this book. It was like $10. So I was like, Hannah, this better be fucking good. Because if I spent $10 on a book, it better be good. I loved this book. It was everything I wanted and more, especially since I paid for it. But it was so good. I wasn't expecting anything that happened. Oh my god. It left off on a cliffhanger, so I am really hoping she comes out with the second book to it, because it would be perfect. It would just be perfect. The next book I read was What Lies Between Us by John Mars. I hated this book. I did read it all the way through because I really wanted to know what happened at the end, but I just did not enjoy my experience reading it. It was literally ridiculous, and I did not enjoy reading it, and the ending wasn't satisfying, and I hated it. The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. I loved this book. Oh my god, I did not expect that fucking plot twist. I think I ended up reading a couple more books by him, and I loved them. His writing is great. It actually scared me a little. I ended up reading The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. After that, as a palate cleanser, because I was scared shitless. Loved it. It was so cute. It was so cute. And it's a little love in there. And it was a perfect palate cleanser. After that, I read Summit Lake, also by Charlie Donnelly. And I loved it. There's something about his writing. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so that one was a murder mystery, who killed her. And it was so good. Again, a plot twist that I was not expecting. This eats. After Summit Lake, I read The Stillwater Girls. This one is by Minka Kent. Fucking loved it. What the fuck was that? Just every time I thought something was true, it wasn't true. You know what I mean? That's how good it was. I was just what's gonna happen next? Let me get this eye finished, and then I'll come back. Because I really need to be done with this eye makeup, because I've literally been doing it. I've been doing it for almost an hour, and I've only got one eye done. I've got the other eye almost finished. It took me literally no time at all. I just can't multitask and talk and do makeup at the same time. I'm still gonna do it. After Stillwater Girls, I read Deeper Than the Dead. This is Vera Boyett, book 1. They are coming out with book 2. Not fast enough. Not fast enough. It's by Deborah Webb. Oh my god. I know I keep saying I'm obsessed with this book and this book and this book, but I was literally so obsessed with this book. It was so good, and I was so upset to find out that the second book wasn't coming out till I think May, because it popped up in the shop. But for pre-order. And let me tell you, I am hype for book 2. It's an all-consuming. If I think about it too hard, I will be thinking about it too long. This satirical book from Frida McFadden, it's called, I have to read this because it's a long fucking title, The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. It's supposed to just be all the classic tropes of women in these thriller books, and honestly, it was. There was nothing great about it, there was nothing bad about it. It was just fine. After that, I read Orphanage by the Lake. It was by Danielle G. Miller. She goes into this orphanage trying to find out what's happening in there and uncovers a child sex trafficking ring. I did not expect the people who were running the ring to be the people who were running the ring. Plot twist huge, obviously. After that, I read Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. The fucking plot twist. I did not expect it. After that, I read The Soulmate, also by Sally Hepworth, and it was fine. It was fine. But I didn't enjoy it as much as Darling Girls, and it kind of put me off of reading any more of her books, if I'm being honest. Next, I read Haunting Adeline. Yeah, I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it, and yes, I even read book 2. Did I enjoy book 2 less? Yes. Did I enjoy book 1 so much? Yeah, so book 2 was kind of disappointing. Yeah. Don't judge me. Yeah, I did enjoy it, and no, I won't be answering any further questions about it. Oh my god, this looks so fucking cool. Guys, this looks so cool. Next, I ended up reading The Boyfriend, also by Freida McFadden, one of her newer releases. Yeah. It was good. Like, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't give it a high rating. Next is Tell Me Lies, and I gotta say, I don't know how this became a Hulu show, because it was the most boring book I've ever fucking read. I feel passionately about how much I dislike this book. I love women. Women do no wrongs. This main character did so much wrong, I couldn't finish it. You're reading it and you're like, girl, pick yourself up. Stand up for yourself. And she just would not. I look like Mona Lisa, right? Okay, next book I read was The Summer of Broken Rules. After that, I read The Story Collector, also by L.V. Woods. So disappointing. The Lost Bookshop was so good. I had such high expectations, and it just did not deliver. I'm sorry, E.V. Woods, but it was bad. I'm gonna use Spectral Ass and Periwinkle. The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. What the fuck? The Perfect Child was crazy. What? The husband was so blind. He just didn't want to believe anything. And it pissed me the fuck off. Because I hate when a man doesn't listen. He was the downfall. Oh, that's cute. My god, I ran out of storage on my phone. I'm going to kind of run through these. There's just a few more, but I'm almost done with my makeup. And my phone's at 19%. So, When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. That book was crazy. What's a great book to follow that up with? The Butcher and the Run by Elena Urquhart. Oh my god, I love Morbid. I love Morbid with my whole heart. I listen to it every day. Unhealthy? Maybe. But I do it. And I didn't know she was that good of a fucking writer, dude. It was all consuming, all I could think about. So of course I had to buy The Butcher game as well. How is it better? How is it somehow better than the first one? What the fuck? Those are my top 2 books of the year. There was a lot of great books, but these were just amazing. After that, I needed a palate cleanser for sure because I was in like a book hangover. So I read The Answer Is No by Frederick Backman. It's a little short story. It was super cute. I loved it. And then I read Gifted to His Dad by Jay Wilder. I did enjoy it. No further questions. After that, I read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was going through the motions. I was thinking I read a lot of like straight books this year, so I was like, I need a queer romance so bad. And this one was absolutely perfect. It was everything I could have wanted. It was a contender for my top book of the year. It was so good. It was so good. Literally all I could think about in the time frame that I was reading it. Like, I did not want to put it down. After that, I read Inside Her by Lisa J. Evans. I would definitely read the trigger warnings on that, but oh my god. That one put... See, I'm at a loss for words. That's how much I enjoyed it. It was so good, so well written. I actually found it on TikTok. The author had posted like a TikTok of it. And it intrigued me. Oh my god, it's so heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. It's so good. It made me want to cry multiple times. Take that as you will. I'm gonna go in with this gloss from Trixie Cosmetics called Prism. I actually hate that. I think this lip is so cute. I do not think it's cute with this look. I'm gonna do this Fui Pudding Pot in Baby. It was from the Robert Welsh beauty box, which was so cool to receive. The last book I read was Signal Moon. It was a short story, and it was so good. And I think just like the perfect way to end off the year. Oh my god, I guess I should, before I go, I guess I should say, you should like and subscribe. And I think I'm gonna continue uploading. Because this is kind of fun. I gotta figure out what to talk about next time. But leave me suggestions. Oh my god. Leave me suggestions if there's something you want me to talk about next time. Because I definitely need something to talk about. Alright.